All right. So as I was saying, you can use caged or you can go in fifths. So the C string shape goes, the fifth of C is G string shape, but there's isolation there. Okay, so that's the mobility part. I've covered it somewhat. We're going to do this a lot. You can use the string shaped circle to do the same thing. If I could get them both on the screen, that's good. So we have here C goes to A, goes to G, goes to E, goes to D. C, A, G, E, D. That's in cage. That's with note sharing. And then we have going the other directions. C. What do we got? C goes to D. The other direction is D, E, G, A, C. D, E, G, A, C. So C goes to D. It starts over again. C goes to D. D goes to E up here. D to E to G to A to C. D to E to G to A to C. But in fifths, we take every other one, so it's C to G to D to A to E in the circles, C to G to D to A to E, and in fourths, D to G to C to E to A, and it's D to G to C to E to A right there, going in the other direction, starting from the D. Okay? So that's how that works with the circles. What else did we have to cover here? Well, we want to cover, we got the string shapes here, okay? I want to cover this start end modal scale shapes and note fitting to string shapes. Okay, we want to cover that, and we're running out of time. These topics will be rolling topics, okay? So let's look at those string shapes again. Let's look at those string shapes. The A string shape, 5, 6, the bottom string of the A pentatonic. That's the key is C. I could do a capo to make it sound a little easier. You just stop on the C there, you know. So that's your A shape. So if we're going to do a modal scales to cover everything. That's why I'm doing modal scales, to cover everything. We want to start on the C. So the C is the Ionian. We're going to actually start down here. I didn't reorder them in shapes. I got them on there the best I could. So in the Locrian Ionian, we're going to either start on the 7th or the root. That's going to be in the E shape. We play our Ionian there, and it's going to end. So we're going to like start either from B or C. So we got these ending notes and we got these starting notes. So the ending notes, it's important to note that the 7 root, because these are shared notes in cage. So in cage it goes C, A, G, E, D, right? So these are shared notes in caged, but just isolating the string shape and looking the G shape, because these string shapes are going to be all over the fretboard, and you're going to focus on one at a time at first. So you know that the G string shape has the 7 root on the outer strings. So that could be, if you're doing an ascending, this is all for ascending. This is, when I say ending note of a modal scale fit to shape, I mean of an ascending scale. So we're going to start, let's say a Locrian. We're going to start on well, let's start with Ionian, because root is kind of simpler. We're going to start on the E shape. Now this part is 6, 7 root. So that's our G shape. Okay, so you know the G shape is 6, 7 root. This stuff. It's like you can't see the forest because the trees are in the way. It's like you can't see the pea soup because the peas are in the way. So what it is, so there it is. You're going to use that G shape either to start a descending Ionian or Locrian scale, or you're going to use the, and how do you make the scale? That's a good question. I mean, okay, here's the G shape. Well, let me find the G. I don't know, is the G there? No. It's 6/7 root, right? I found a G shape. I have labels. So here's a G shape. 6/7 root, key of C, right? How do I make the scale? Okay, the scale works by the system that I had over here, which is where do you go in string shapes when you're going someplace? Because do I have a pattern? Yeah, we have a cage ladder pattern here. These, if I'll just play these notes on the piano in key of C. So they're already arranged in a major scale. And you know, when you have a major scale, you can do a lot of things with it. Okay, you can't do the Neapolitan 6 or something like that. I'm not sure that's the correct term, but you can't go out of the mode and change keys in it. You can't change keys using your modal. Or maybe you can if you want to consider the modal scale tone chords as a key. So I'm in the key of E minor. Yeah, you can change the key of E minor, A minor, you know, that kind of thing. As long as you don't put in any accidentals, then you're staying within the mode. So that's just a little digression. Let's just move forward here with this. So if we're going to do a Dorian would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. You would start on the D shape and end up on an E shape, but how do you do that scale? Here's the D shape. I'm going to start on the second string with that D shape. It's 2, 3, 4. You just follow the pattern, okay? So in this particular case, we got a D shape here. We want to go up with it because we want to do a D-shaped modal, a Dorian modal scale. So D shape would go to the, an easy way to look at it. Sometimes I have to do it the easy way. Instead of just going the fifth of D is G, look at it as here's our D shape. We're going to do cage. So it's D ends with skip the C and go to the A shape. So D shape goes to the A shape, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go cage. A, G, skip the G and go to the E shape. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. Right there is your D-shaped Dorian modal scale. And the three string shapes are D, A, and E. D, A, and E. Let's try that again. I did it on the wrong string. I did it on the first string. So that's it. And of course that is an S3L, but we're not going to talk about patterns. You know, if you're playing this pattern, or playing a long pattern like, you know, you kind of lose yourself. You don't remember that you're doing 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can come out of that 5, 6 with an E shape. That was just a little bad note there. So I find it easier to go up by counting in caged and skipping every letter. So you're climbing this caged letter. And that kind of brings us to our next topic,